Is I'm going to start off with his nose, and what I thought his nose looked like was a bit like a heart shape or even a bit of a potato shape, to be honest, and it's on its side. Remember, art is open to interpretation. I wouldn't expect everyone's picture to look the same, so I'm going to start with his nose, which is going to be in the middle. So starting with a line that comes round, and then I'm going to go all the way round, and then when I said it was like a heart shape on its side, you will see that I've got that little line there. So he's got quite a big nose. So it should be at about the middle of your page. I have put mine exactly in the middle of my page. From his little nose, what I am going to do is I'm just going to put a wee line at the top, like a little wrinkle. So Happy has got cheeks just like that. So I'm going to start on this side here, and I'm going to put his cheek coming all the way round, very close to his nose, and then down in a kind of S shape. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Now I am doing it upside down, so it's going to come in here, very close to his nose, and then into a S shape on that side. It's not a full S, but it is there. Then I'm going to put his smile. So his smile is going to come from here all the way across, okay? And because he's happy, he has got a big smile like that. Okay, so we've got a big smile shape. It's almost like a semicircle. And then I'm going to put his actual mouth in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in about a third of the way down, and I'm going to put his big happy smile in, because he is so happy. He's happy because the boys and girls are happy to be going back to school. Then I want you to think about his tongue, which is going to be in his mouth. And we've drawn one of these before. It's almost like the top of a heart, or it's almost like a seagull, if you were drawing a seagull. So there is his tongue in his mouth, and you can see his mouth starting to take shape. Now what I'm going to do, because he's so happy, he has got a little wrinkle on his cheek. So I'm going to put a wee wrinkle up here, one. And then my next bit that I am going to do is his happy eyes. Okay, so we can see that he is happy because he has got very happy eyes. Now his eyes are going to go in here, into these spaces here. And he has got quite long eyes. I'll just hold up my finished picture again so that you can see it. You can just see where his eyes are going to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the eye on this side first, and it actually comes all the way down and touches his nose. It's almost like an oval shape. So I'm going to put his eye all the way down to where his nose is and up. On the same side, it doesn't quite come down to his nose this time, but it comes very close to this cheek on this side. So I'm going to put the other one as best I can, trying to keep them the same size. Okay, so they should be roughly the same size. Then what I'm going to do, everybody's eye has a coloured part, the iris of the eye. So I'm going to put the iris in, which is a little bit bigger. So it's an oval on the inside, and it comes all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to do that in both eyes, okay? And then that's going to be the coloured part of the eye. The next bit is going to be the pupil of the eye, which is another smaller oval on the inside. And this is where we've got the wee glimpse of light that we don't colour in. So I'm just going to colour it in, but make sure you leave a little white bit on that pupil. What do we call that again, Miss Beattie? I know that I sent that to you in a message this week and I've forgotten what we call it. It's something like highlights, and I can't remember exactly. So now we're going to do the pupil in the next eye. So it's another oval, and making sure that I leave my little, we'll call it a highlight, just at the top, because it makes him look really happy. Okay? And now he has got beautiful eyelashes. He's got 3 eyelashes on each eye. So I'm going to start with the eye closest to me. And we have got 1, 2, 3. And you can actually, using your fine line black pen, you can colour them in too. And I'm just going to put an extra wee line at the top of his eye for where his eyelashes go. So they come in a curve towards me. Now his other eye, his eyelashes go the other way, so I'm going to start on the outside here, and it's 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to colour them in too. That is my 3 eyelashes on each side, and they're pointing in different directions. On this side they're pointing out that way, and on that side they're curving out that way. I'll give you a wee minute just to make sure that you are all at the same point as me. The next bit I'm going to do is the eyebrows, and because he is an old dwarf, he has got bushy eyebrows and he's got bushy white eyebrows. So I'm going to start with a little line like that. And from this way I'm going to come up like that. So I've almost got like an open triangle shape. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them bushy, and again we have got 3 bushy bits to the eyebrows. Just join up your line so you've got 3 bushy bits to your eyebrows. Then I'm going to do the same at the other side. I've got my banana shape. And from there, I'm going to go up. And the same as I did at the other side, I'm going jaggy line, jaggy line, jaggy line until they join. And that's my eyebrows. Well done. Now the next bit I'm going to do is his head. Now his head is going to come, I'm going to start about in line with where my cheek is here, and then just watch what I'm going to do. So in line with my cheek, I'm going to go all the way round and down to in line with the other cheek at the other side. So it's like a big rainbow shape all the way round. And he is so happy that he has got really big cheeks. So I'm going to bring this one out ever so slightly like that, and the same on the other side. So a little curve just coming out. And then I'm going to add 1 line and 2 line, and then at the same on the other side, 1, 2. And that's just the wee creases that he has got in his cheeks for being so happy. They're like his wrinkles. Then his cheeks on my page are going to come all the way to the side. Because he's so happy, his smile is so big, I'm going to have it coming all the way round. Almost reminds me, boys and girls, of a hamster that has got too much food hidden in its pouches. If you've got a hamster, you will know when they have got food stuck in their cheeks. They're storing their food in their cheeks because their cheeks are so big. And I'm going to do the same at the other side. Big hamster cheek like that. So hopefully your happy is starting to take shape. The next bit I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to bring this line in a wee bit closer. The next thing I'm going to do is his chin. And his chin is the same kind of shape as his mouth is, but it just overlaps ever so slightly from his cheek all the way round, and it overlaps like that. So the next thing I'm going to do is his beard, and he has a beard a little bit like Santa Claus. So I'm going to start just with a line about in line with his eyebrows, boys and girls. So I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to come out. Now, I have come to the end of my paper, but I'm just going to go over without touching my wall, and I'm just going to put in the zigzag of his beard. When I get to the bottom, I'm going to do one, but I'm going to change the direction of my zigzag. Do you see how I did that at the bottom there? I changed the direction, so I came down and then I swooped up the other way. That is now going to let me do the same up the other side. Take your time, don't worry if you're falling behind. And I'm going to go round over the side of this cheek, and then I'm just going to continue with the zigzag in his hair. So that is his beard. Hopefully you can all see that. Oh, Zach, that is amazing. You should be so proud of that. That is brilliant. Eva, gorgeous. I love his eyes and his happy face. Lewis, he is so good. I love his eyebrows. These are brilliant. Well done. So the next thing I'm going to do, if you've managed to do his beard, well done, Abigail, that is so nice too. What I'm going to do now is I am going to do his hat. Please don't worry if you haven't left enough space for his hat. You'll notice the first attempt that I didn't really leave enough space for his hat either, but actually, as long as I've got his happy face, I'm quite happy with that, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting in his hat, and all I'm going to do is start around about his hair at the top, and I'm going to put a wee line that goes from either side of his hair, but I haven't joined them. I've kept it, but I haven't joined it. Okay. Then on this side, I'm going to add another line, but I'm not going to join it. And then from this side, I'm going to do the same, but I'm not going to join it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come all the way round, all the way to the top of my page, down to one side, and then I'm going to join it, and there is my hat. I'm now going to put the lid on my black fine line pen, boys and girls, and just as you're watching, you can put your pencils down. You don't need to colour just now if you don't want to. My colouring is going to be quite fast because I am using pastels, but you can use pens, you can use crayons. If you're good with paint, you can use paint. You can decide what you're going to colour with, but I am going to colour with these pastels. I'm just going to choose this colour here, if you can see it. I'm actually going to turn it on its side, and because it's a pastel, you will see just how quickly I can colour his face. So I'm going to go all the way around. Please do not feel that you have to colour at the same time as me. You can just watch me just now, and then you can colour at your own pace. So I'm just going to go into his cheeks. I've actually turned my pastel on its side. If you're using pastels at home, you could do the same. So I'm just going to colour it in. I've used pastel, I can use my finger just to blend in his face. So I'm just going to do that just now. So I have blended in his face. Now at the minute, Happy's looking a little bit flat, And the only way that I can make him look a little bit less flat is if I add some different colours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this slightly darker pink and I'm going to put it on certain areas, places like his nose, on the apple of his cheek here. Going to add it in there. And also, it's good to add a wee bit of extra colour wherever you see a line. So where I've got a line here, I can add a wee bit of extra colour. I can add a wee bit of extra line at his chin and all the way round his cheeks. It just helps him to look a little bit less flat and a wee bit more 3D. So I'm just going to add a wee bit more into his nose. One thing that you can do as I'm colouring is you can take your pen and you can colour in his mouth. Just the top of his mouth, not the tongue, because I'm going to do his tongue pink. So you can take your black pen and you can colour in his mouth, the roof of his mouth in there. Now I'm going to choose quite a bright pink colour, which is this one here, and I'm going to colour in his tongue. There we go. Now this is a wee bit that's open to interpretation. You can decide what colour you want Happy's eyes to be. You could make his eyes the same colour as yours, or you could do something different, but I am going to do the inside iris part blue to add some little grey bits, which is going to be the shading. So in little corners, I'm going to add some grey bits. And I'm going to go all the way around, just so that his beard doesn't look too flat. So into corners, add a wee grey bit of shading. And if you can't see that, I'm going to make some black just so that you can see where I am putting the shading. Going to do the same in his eyebrows up here. Going to make them a little bit grey so they're not flat and white. Okay, going to do the same at the other side. And then the last thing I have to do is his hat. Now I'm going to choose yellow, and I won't colour it all in because it might take me a wee while. His hat is quite big. So I'm going to colour it in yellow, and the same way that we have done in other parts of the picture, we can add some shading to the yellow so it doesn't look too flat. So I'm going to take an orange, and at the bits where it's close to his head, I'm going to add a wee bit of orange in the folds so that it just makes it look a wee bit less flat. I have made his hat yellow. When you're colouring, you can make his hat any colour you like. That is open to interpretation. And that, boys and girls, is Happy from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Hopefully you have been able to follow along and you have managed to finish your picture of Happy. And the reason we did Happy is because we're all so happy to be going back to school on Monday. just going to add a wee bit of extra colour around his nose. And there we have it. Happy.